Hi guys, this is the Audiofool, and for today, we're going to review the Q Acoustics Concept 20. I've been thinking a lot about the Q Acoustics Concept 300 and 500, but it's been a while since I've heard the 3020s, and while they were quite decent, they didn't really stick to me. So I really need the big push, a $3,500 push, before I take the plunge. So we're gonna check out the Concept 20s and see if it'll be enough to convince me. And we'll also see how they fare against the KEF LS50s, the BW606, and the Elac B6.2s. But before that, let's take a closer look. At the front, you have that aluminum plate, making the concepts a bit different from your standard speakers. 25mm fabric dome tweeter and 5-inch carbon fiber ceramic coated paper woofers make the sound, but the main draw of the speaker is the enclosure, which is made up of two layers of MDF separated by an adhesive they called gel core. This should reduce distortion and just let the driver speak for themselves without any box influence. At the back, you have the port, which you can plug with the included bunks if necessary, and dual binding poles should you want to buy amp. $500 versus £280, so more favorable for Europe. This is even smaller than the small LS50, so I wasn't expecting much. I don't say this a lot, but the LS50 goes deeper and has more satisfying bass. The Concept 20 does okay, but doesn't really pressurize the room. Though the bass it does provide sounds tight, if a bit lacking in textures. Vocals are more forward in the LS50s and are also more detailed. It is very punchy, though again, it lacks the oomph of a bigger box. Compared to the LS50s, the Concept 20 sound rolled off in the highs and lacks the sparkle and brilliance. Soundstage is wide and you can easily pinpoint placements, but has very little depth compared to the LS50s, and I already find the KEFs flat as a pancake. It also sounds very clear, but I feel it cleaned up the sound a little too well and lost a lot of overtones as a result. At a little bit more than twice the price, the KEF LS50s are like two classes up, and it shows. You immediately notice the improvements in all areas. What the Concept 20s has going for them are their size. Placement isn't a problem, and you can put them anywhere you like. And that's it, and I would pass this up and just go with the KEF LS50s if budget allows. Still, I wouldn't be too sad if I had to go with them. They're still nice, it's just that the LS50s are OP. Next, we put it up against the Bowers & Wilkins 606, which is probably the best buy at this price point, and a speaker that everyone will appreciate. Bass is much better in the 606, textures, pressurization, extension. Vocals are almost as forward, but there's still a touch bit more detail in the 606, albeit not as sibilant. You can easily hear this in Norah Jones' voice, as it sounds a little bit too smooth and lacks striations in the Concept 20s. Piano notes also lack gravitas in general, and again, sounds a bit rolled off in terms of highs, although it sounds very clean, and cleaner than the 606. The 606 may not sound as clean as the Concept 20s, but I'm actually hearing a lot more details in the 606, and it's as if the Concept 20s are filtering off the noise and the distortion, and at the same time, accidentally filtering off some of the details as well. Looks-wise, I prefer the Concept 20s, but you're losing a lot in terms of sound quality, and I'd still go with the 606 if you have the budget. Finally, the B6.2s are fantastic budget speakers, but they have a bit of a price premium in Europe, and it's actually more expensive than the Concept 20s. Bass is better in the bigger, uglier bookshelf, and it does it quite well. Vocals are more forward, but a bit leaner in the Q Acoustics, as well as in piano notes, but it's satisfying enough and there's very little distortion in comparison. There's better separation in the Concept 20s, but there's still a bit more depth in the Elacs, as well as sounding grander and bigger. Cleanliness is the Concept 20 specialty, and the B6.2s sound like they were rolled in mud and then kicked in the kisser before the comparison. In the US, the Elacs are my preference, being the complete package, and the cheaper price is just icing on the speaker cake, although the Concept 20s do sound better up top. In Europe though, it's the other way around, and the Concept 20s are the clear choice, and you can easily get a subwoofer to remedy the lack of bass, unlike the Elacs where you can't really do anything to make it sound as clear as the Concept 20s. What I like the most about the Concept 20s is the class-leading clarity. Well, actually, it's on another level in relation to its price. The imaging is also excellent, and the speakers disappear and you can easily pinpoint the exact locations of each instrument. And of course, it's so cute and cuddly that your partner will almost allow to stay inside the house. What I don't like about the Concept 20s is the bass or lack thereof. While I can still hear the lower frequencies, I can't really feel them, so it feels empty and hollow. And personally, I would get a subwoofer to fill in the void. Another thing I don't like is that while the imaging is excellent, it does so on a 2D space. So I can pinpoint instruments from left to right, but not from front to back. What I hate the most about the Concept 20s is that I can live without the bass, I can live without the def, but I can't live without the microdynamics. It's like the speakers sound so clean, the rawness is gone, the micro details are lost. Usually, speakers that sound this clean actually make the micro details come out more. But in this case, the Concept 20s sound like they're distilling wine. So you get the pure alcohol, but you lose the flavors and the textures of the wine. And there will be some people who value clarity above all, and perhaps this speaker's for them. But for me, being a micro detail freak, it kind of bores me after a couple of songs, and it doesn't bode well for my Q Acoustics Concept 300 or 500 Dreams, which I'm now thinking no because I've been audiofooled. Really, really clean, photoshopped clean. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, just write them down below. See you in the next video.